This is Valley News Live at noon.
We have breaking news. One young girl is recovering from injuries following a scary crash involving an asphalt roller. Valley City Police were called to an elementary school yesterday for a report of a young girl that ran into an asphalt roller. Police say the roller was backing into a driveway when the girl on the sidewalk ran into the equipment. Authorities say a city employee was driving the roller and was cited for failure to yield to a pedestrian. The girl was originally taken to the Valley City Hospital and then rushed to Fargo. Her current condition is unknown. A powerful earthquake struck a remote region of Afghanistan overnight, killing more than 1,000 people. Officials say about 1,500 others are injured and the death toll is expected to rise. The epicenter of the 6.1 magnitude quake was in a mountainous region roughly 200 miles from the capital, Kabul. It comes around a year since the Taliban seized control of the country. Many international aid groups left in the aftermath of that takeover, which will likely hamper rescue efforts. Let's check in with Summer Schnellbach with the first look at our forecast. It's a pretty day out there, Summer.
Absolutely. This is the best day weather-wise of the entire week. You can see just a couple of clouds out there, a slight breeze, just enough to wave those flags. Temperatures in the 70s and 80s. Glorious all around. Right now in Fargo and Grand Forks, we're sitting at 77 degrees. Jamestown, 76. Bemidji, one of the cooler areas, at 71. Still, though, quite mild. Fergus Falls, 77. Devil's Lake at 73. So a great day to head out to the pool. We'll have temperatures in Fargo by mid-afternoon, warming up into the low and mid-80s. However, if you do step out today, be sure to lather on that sunscreen as well. Here's a check of your 4 p.m. temperatures this afternoon. Nearly all of us in the 80s, but just a touch cooler in our far easternmost counties. 78 in Rosa, Wadena, 76 in Bemidji. And the reason I mentioned that sunscreen, our UV index will be between a 7 and an 8 today, so burn time between about 20 and 30 minutes. JC, we do have some thunderstorm chances to talk about here in just a few minutes, and they could bring a severe threat.
Thank you, Summer. Sounds like a good day to go grab some lunch with friends outside, but
yes,
bring the sunscreen.
Yes.
Thanks, Summer. One person is seriously hurt after a car crash near Williston last night. Highway Patrol officials say a 20-year-old in a Dodge Durango was driving along a street and entered the intersection of Highway 2, but failed to yield. The Dodge ended up hitting two people in a GMC Sierra, causing it to roll and rest in a ditch. A 43-year-old man from Rapid City was taken to the hospital with serious injuries. Charges are currently pending against the driver of the Dodge Durango. The city of Brooklyn Center, Minnesota has agreed to pay $3.25 million to the family of Daunte Wright, the 20-year-old man who was killed by police during a traffic stop last year. The sum is part of a settlement deal the family struck with the city, which also agreed to make changes in its policing policies and training. The Wright family legal team said in a news release, changes are expected to include training on police intervention, implicit bias, weapons confusion, de-escalation, as well as how to handle situations arising during mental health crises. Daunte Wright was fatally shot by former police officer Kimberly Potter during a traffic stop. The former officer said she meant to use her taser when she fatally shot him. Potter is currently serving a 2-year sentence for killing Wright. Senators have struck a bipartisan deal on new gun control measures, meaning the legislation could be law within this week. Skylar Henry has more details from Capitol Hill.
Are 34, and the motion is agreed to.
With a 64-34 vote, the Senate has taken the first steps towards passing new gun control measures.
I am pleased Congress is on the path to take meaningful action to address gun violence for the first time in nearly 30 years.
The bipartisan deal expands background checks for people under 21, giving up to 10 business days to review juvenile and mental health records. It provides money for states to enact red flag laws, which allows courts to seize guns from people deemed dangerous. And it closes the so-called boyfriend loophole, preventing partners convicted of domestic abuse that live outside a victim's home from buying a gun.
Someone who has never been convicted of a violent crime or adjudicated as mentally ill will not have their rights affected one iota.
There's also hundreds of millions of dollars for mental health and school safety resources, plus tough penalties for those who buy guns and then turn around and sell the firearm to anyone not legally allowed to own a gun. While enough Republicans have signed off on the bill, all but assuring its ultimate passage, the majority of Republicans say they oppose any infringement on Second Amendment rights. The NRA is pressuring lawmakers to vote against it. The group released a statement saying it does little to truly address violent crime and opens the door to unnecessary burdens on the exercise of Second Amendment freedom. But the normally powerful interest group's message has been drowned out by public support for new gun control measures.
I've received tens of thousands of calls and letters and emails with a singular message: do something. Do something.
Senate leaders say they plan to pass the bill by the end of the week. Skyler Henry, CBS News, Capitol Hill.
Once the bill passes, it goes to the House, where Speaker Nancy Pelosi has promised a swift passage of the bill in order to send it to President Biden to sign it into law. North Dakota is getting 5,700 COVID vaccine doses for young children between 6 months and 5 years old. An estimated 50,000 North Dakota children are eligible to receive the vaccine. Essentia Health will begin scheduling appointments for that age group tomorrow. We have more information on the vaccines available in Fargo on our VNL News app. Coming up at noon, it's a stalled budget surplus in Minnesota. We'll tell you how long it could be until a decision is made. Plus, it's a beautiful summer day outside, but we're heating up over the next few days. Summer Snowbach is next with your forecast.